Hello BookTube, Sarah here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with a weekend reads. So, to begin with, you guys can't tell, I'm wearing my finished sweater. The one I finished a couple weeks ago for my trip to Rhinebeck that I didn't wear because I wasn't happy with the way it was finished, but I am absolutely happy with it. I just had to sit on it and wait. To me it fits amazing. Let me just see if I can back up the camera just a little bit so you guys can see it. So, this is the finished sweater. There's the sleeves with all the cabling on it. You guys can just see the back with all the cabling on it as well. I am absolutely in love with this sweater. It is so comfy and cozy. So of course I had to wear it to show you guys. Oh, and I got my Christmas lights up. Well, those are the ones that are up all the time. But I just turned them on because I thought it would look pretty. So yes, so that is the first thing. Second thing, as usual, I've been mentioning the tea I've been drinking. So I make a cup of tea before I shoot these videos, and this is in my beautiful knitted mug. It's ceramic, but it's knitted. Isn't that cute? My friend Jen got it for me in the States. I don't know what shop. Some shop I think maybe called Tuesday Morning. I don't know. But it was super duper cute, so she brought it to the festival with her, and she gave it to me then. And I am drinking an organic vanilla chai. Again, just black. You guys can't tell, but it's black. Just a black tea. And it's not bad. I get the David's Tea Advent Calendar every year, and I got the most recent one. And you get like these little like silver pods, I guess, and like they've got a screw top lid. I don't have one. I use them actually for stitch markers for knitting, and they're great for little things like that because it does have like a screw on lid so the tea doesn't fall out. But I don't like my tea really like steeped, so I tend to only use like half of one of those. So each one, and there's 24 in the advent calendar, of course, I get 2 servings out of. So throughout the December, I will drink the one every day, and then they kind of go into like a mug in my tea cupboard. Yes, I have an entire tea cupboard. And you know, throughout the year when I want something, well, over the year that mug kind of gets pushed to the very back of the cupboard, and I kind of forget about it. And then today I was gonna make my tea, and I'm like, oh, I should really finish last year's tea before I break it to the new calendar in December. So this is one of them. I just kind of reached my hand in and grabbed one, and this is the one. It's not bad. I don't mind chai. It's not bad. It's again, I'm only using half of the thing, so it's not really chai taste, but it's got a nice hint of vanilla and it smells delicious. So I don't know if this is a tea that's available currently. I haven't checked, but if you do like a chai, go check it out. Also, if you like chai, their pumpkin chai to die for. It is probably my favorite. It's what got me drinking chai in the first place. And I don't actually put any milk in it. I know you're supposed to, but I don't put milk or sugar or anything. I drink it just straight, and I really like it. So, cheers. Let's jump into what I plan on reading this weekend. Sorry, I just don't want to drop that all over the floor. So, my audiobook. Currently, I am listening to A Rogue by Any Other Name by Sarah McClane. This is the first book in the Rules of Scoundrels series, and it's being narrated on audio by Rosalyn Landor. She's doing a really great job. I'm about 60% of the way through this book. It's a really interesting, it's a historical romance, if you couldn't tell from that gorgeous cover. What it's about is a man who, when he was younger, 10 years before the story begins, he lost his entire estate in a poker match. I think it was a poker match. It was a game of cards. So gambling, essentially. And he was left with nothing other than his title. And I believe he's a... Is it a Marquess? I think that's how it said, is Marquess. So all he had left was his title, and the man who won it from him was his childhood best friend's father. So this is a man he kind of grew up with, and blah blah blah. Their lands like bordered each other, and so he lost all this land, and he was left essentially penniless. He had nothing other than the estate itself. Like, he had the physical building, but the lands were gone. And over the last 10 years, he's been building back up and made like 4 times the fortune that he had then, because now he runs a gambling hall in London called the Fallen Angel. And that is the central thing that ties this series together. There's 4 books in the series, and each book follows a different person in who own this. Like, these 4 guys who own this gambling hall. And he's now found out that the land that he had lost in this bet is now part of the dowry. That was the guy who originally won it off of him, then lost it to a bet to another man who also bordered like the three houses, and it was the girl that they grew up with. So it was the main character, Bourne, that's his last name, his first name is Michael. Timothy is the guy whose father won the land in the first place, and then Penelope is the female lead in this story, the lovely girl on this cover. And it has now been attached to her dowry because she has had some really bad luck with the marriage market. Her first betrothal, he left her. He broke off the engagement. And so that kind of, in society, made her a target, essentially. And she's not marriageable anymore. So they attached this great piece of land to her dowry. When Michael found this out, of course, he married her. So now they're dealing with the aftermath of the marriage and why he married her and all these things. I know it's a big explanation, but it's a really, really great book, and I'm really enjoying it, and I am very much looking forward to picking up the rest of the books in the series as well when I'm done this one. My current ebook is A Thankful Heart by Melissa McClone. This is book number 2 in the Love at the Chocolate Shop series. I read book number 1 in October. This is one that follows the same little small town of Marietta, Texas, I think it is, and this chocolate shop that's in this small town and the characters that kind of go around it. So this is Dakota's story, and she works at the chocolate shop but volunteers at a local animal shelter, and the animal shelter has fallen on some hard times, and Bryce is the main lead character, like the male, and he's in town because his father got hurt. He fell off a roof. He's a construction worker, and he fell off the roof and broke both of his legs. And so he's in town for a month to try and help him get back on his feet, literally. And he wants to also try and convince him to come back to Seattle with him. And, you know, the father's saying, like, I love small town life, I love living here. And, of course, that's the relationship between him and Dakota, Bryce and Dakota, the son. And, yeah, so the story goes from there and, of course, revolves around the chocolate shop because that's where Dakota works. And this is such a great series. I absolutely love it. Like, this is only the second book, but I really think this is a great premise, and I love how every month it's a different book. And I think it's 6 different authors who actually write this series. So 2 books per author for the entire year, so that will be really, really great. My current Babysitters Club book is Staceys Mistake, which is book number 18. This is, of course, written by the lovely Ann M. Martin. And this one, Stacey's still living in New York City. She moved, I think, back in book 13. She moved back to the city. And in this book, she invites her babysitting friends, like the girls in the Babysitters Club, to come and visit her in the city, I think for a weekend or something like that. And what she thought was going to be this great weekend doesn't live up to what she thought it was going to be. So, you know, it'll be a fun story. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, so that's everything that I'm going to be reading this weekend. What am I going to be knitting on this weekend? Let me reach down and grab my sweater bag. This is not another sweater. This is actually a poncho. I think I showed this to you guys, the pattern, a couple weeks ago, what it actually looks like. And hold on to your hats, kids. Oh, a lot of work done on this one. Not so much. I just cast this on the other day. But there is some of the patterning, as you can see. It's kind of like a little lace pattern. So I do a few repeats of this, and then I just do straight knitting. So this is like, can I bring up the pattern real quick to show you guys? I may have already shown you, but if you're new to my channel, I'll try and show you the actual picture of the pattern itself. So essentially what you're doing is you're knitting these 2 rectangles, and then you're seaming them together, and then you're putting an edging on it, and that makes it into a poncho. So you obviously leave room for your head to come through. But it's beautiful. I'm not a huge fan of ponchos per se. I never really was, but I saw this one, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So let me just make this picture bigger. Sorry. Isn't that lovely? So that's what it's going to look like. So that's the patterning that I'm doing. And then it'll just be straight knitting. So yeah, so I am really, really going to love this. This is designed by a woman by the name of Melissa Shashwari, and she's a fabulous designer. This pattern is available on Ravelry for those of you who knit or crochet, and you don't know what Ravelry is, you need to go check it out. It is like the Facebook for knitters and crocheters and spinners. It's got patterns galore. You can buy them right on the website. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link. Anytime I talk about my knitting now, I'll leave a link in the description box below to the pattern, whether it be on Ravelry or on somebody's blog or what have you. And then you can go check it out for yourself. You do need to join Ravelry to view the patterns. Again, this is a paid-for pattern, so you'd have to buy it if you wanted it. But that option is there. So, yes, absolutely awesome. I'm knitting this in an acrylic yarn. Hatton's Canadiana, which is a wonderfully soft and squishy acrylic yarn. I do love a good acrylic yarn for sweaters and big items because, like, this is an acrylic, which is essentially, for those of you who don't know, this is not a natural fiber. The joke is when the apocalypse comes, it'll be cockroaches and acrylic fiber that's left. But that means pretty much that I can throw this in the wash and throw it in the dryer and not worry about shrinking it or stretching it or anything like that. So when I do a big project like that, I want something that's going to stand the test of time, essentially. Like, this took me 6 months to finish. I want it to last a while, right? So yeah, so that is about it that's going on. It's already later Saturday evening right now as I'm recording this. It's been a busy day. I was out with my mom. I was visiting with my aunt and my grandmother. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Tomorrow's going to be a nice lazy day, knitting and listening to my audiobook. And that's pretty much it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. And look who we got joined by, Goran. Gor. Hey, bud. Say hello to the people. Don't show them your bum. Come say hello. This is Goran. The other videos coming up this week are going to be my October wrap-up. I'm going to get that done for you guys. And my first book haul for the month of November. Yeah, I bought more books. But anyway, that is it from me. So you might see the Goran in the next couple videos if he's going to continue to sit here. And until next time, guys, take care and happy reading. Bye.